Hi everyone, and welcome to the Art of Online Marketing live show. And today we're going to be talking about Instagram stories one more time. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Denise Allison and I help businesses grow with social media and live video. So for anyone who's new here, let me know in the comments by typing new. I love to welcome you into my world of social media and welcome you to the community. So a few weeks ago, I talked about how to get into Instagram stories, getting your feet wet, and how you can use the different features. So that was great. There's only so much we can cover in a 20-minute period. So today what I want to do is help you with next steps on how you can use it to actually grow your business. So before we get started, I do want to invite you to my upcoming online training, and that's called Grow Your Business with Instagram, and that is happening on Thursday, June 14th at noon Atlantic. So again, that is Grow Your Business with Instagram, what every profitable entrepreneur needs to know. So I will add the link in the comments once I'm done being live, and you can sign up for it there. And if you're watching on Instagram, you can head over to my bio and the link is in there for how to sign up. Okay, so let's get into today's topic, and that is Instagram Stories for Business Part 2, aka how to leverage IG stories to grow your business. Okay, so like I said, I did cover Instagram stories briefly a few weeks ago on the live show. So if you want to get a little bit of a quick overview of how stories works, you can head over and watch that video. So I do want to spend time talking today about how you can use it to actually grow your business and grow your presence online. So there are 200 million Instagram stories watched every single day, and stories in general on all platforms are growing 15 times faster than feeds, which makes sense because they're a newer thing. So you would assume that they would grow a little bit faster than the feeds. So a quick recap for those who didn't catch the video a few weeks ago. Instagram added the stories feature a little bit over a year ago, and by doing so, they're kind of combining Snapchat into Instagram. So you have these 24-hour bubbles that pop up when you create a story, and they are there for 24 hours, and then they just disappear. They have now added another feature where you can feature those highlights for longer, but in a general sense, those stories are just there for 24 hours. So when you post to Instagram stories, the newest bubbles, I'll call them bubbles, but they're like right up at the top of your Instagram. The newest ones appear first, and they appear closest to your profile picture. So it's really the only platform or tool that's left that is actually in reverse chronological order, which is something that Instagram left a few years ago because of all the content that was happening. So I talked about that last week, the algorithm, but stories is still in chronological order, and they are right at the top of your app. So the more often that you are posting and the more regularly that you are posting these stories, the more you are front and center. I keep doing this as if the stories is actually here, but it's right here on the top of your Instagram. And so the more you do that, the more you are front and center. And so it's a great place to be to get some extra visibility. So there are three things about Instagram stories to keep in mind. You can do photos, which are vertical. So like this. You can add all kinds of stickers and GIFs and locations, hashtags, everything. So the pictures go for 15 seconds. You can create vertical videos, so again, like this, and that can be you talking to the camera. It can be you showing something. It can be a whole bunch of anything. Like really, it's limitless what you can do. But again, 15 seconds is your time limit for videos. And then of course there's live video, which is happening right over here on Instagram. So Instagram does have its own live video platform, and you can go live for up to an hour, and the live video is accessed through stories. And it's really, really easy to bring in guests through the live video platform on Instagram. It's actually built in, which makes it easier to bring in guests than any other platform. So if that's some avenue that you're considering to bring guests onto your show or onto your live videos, Instagram is a great place to be for that. And then there's all kinds of other fun options. The Boomerang, which is kind of like your video forward and backwards over and over and over again. Rewind, which is like it sounds. You have these super zooms and all kinds of things to make it a lot of fun. So again, like I said, Instagram stories are up there for 24 hours and then they disappear from existence. Although Instagram does archive your stories for you so you can use them again later. So here's the thing. Your Instagram stories strategy should be completely different than your regular newsfeed strategy, and that's the strategy that you implement on your Instagram newsfeed, and those are the posts that are staying around forever. So the goal of your newsfeed, so again, that's what's showing up when people are scrolling through, and those are the posts that are permanent on your profile. So the goal of your newsfeed is to share content that provides value for your audience and helps them understand how you can help them overcome their challenges and achieve their goals. So you want to be authentic and you want to share comments and descriptions and stories that help you connect on various levels. So for more info on that, make sure you sign up for the online training. But the goal is to really provide some value to educate, entertain, and engage your audience in your newsfeed. But your goal for stories is different. You can't really share a lot of text. You can share a few words at a time, but you can't share a long description, otherwise it gets lost, and you can't even if you did write it all in the story, you wouldn't be able to read it in the 15 seconds. So it has to be something that's quick and easy to consume. So you get a 10-second or 15-second clip of a video or a picture, and that's it. It has to be visual, and you have to get the point across visually. So that is much different than your newsfeed, where people can look at your photo and read your description for as long as they are on their coffee break, right? So because of the huge difference in what you can share and how you can share, you need to have two parallel strategies when it comes to your Instagram newsfeed and your Instagram stories. So in my experience, the best stories that you can use and the best way that you can really leverage stories to engage with your audience and connect with them on a deeper level is to show more of a behind the scenes look at your business. And of course, you can do this in hundreds and hundreds of ways. So I'm just going to go over a few of those here today. So some content creators are great at making short little videos that tell their followers about their day and what they're up to. So it'll be just something like this where it's face to face and like, hey, today I'm working on this, and this is the process, and this is what I'm teaching my students, and their step 1, 2, 3, and they kind of make a series of videos. So instead of just doing the 10 or 15-second video, they're doing maybe 5 in a row to explain very briefly what they're chatting about. So some people are great at doing that. It's a great strategy to show a little bit of a behind the scenes on what you're doing. Some people are really, really talented at creating fun images or beautiful images and just really engaging images with all of the tools that Instagram Stories has provided for its users. So that's there as well. But the point is kind of to share things that you're not necessarily going to share in your newsfeed, because The strategy behind your newsfeed should be to post an image that captures the attention, but to post a caption that is telling a story that's a little bit deeper than the image itself, and telling behind what's in the actual image. So of course for stories you can't really do that, so the visual needs to speak for itself. So you might be sharing things that don't necessarily match in your newsfeed color scheme. I know some people are really picky about that, and if it doesn't match visually, they're not going to post it. So share it in your stories, share the picture. It might be you out at an event. It might be you might be sharing silly pictures, you might be sharing an announcement, or doing shout outs. I know some people do a great job at posting that they have a new podcast up, and they share a little clip of the podcast, and you can listen to it, and they say swipe up to hear the entire show. So things like that, where you're getting a little bit more of a behind the scenes, where it's not necessarily the educational and the engaging and the which word did I forget? The entertaining. You do want to be entertaining, but it's not necessarily that, but it's a little bit more behind the scenes, and it really gives you the opportunity to connect on a deeper level with your audience. So Instagram also lets you create polls and sliders, so you can ask a question, say which one do you prefer, or have you ever done this, and put yes and no, or you can put a slider, which is how do you feel about this, and you can put low or high. So I haven't really figured out any great questions to ask in those, but if anyone has any ideas for me, let me know. Okay, so that's something else you can do. You can create other branded visuals that send traffic to your website, and if you have more than 10,000 followers, you can integrate the swipe up feature, where instead of having to go to your profile and click on your bio link, they can actually swipe up and go directly to the website that you want them to go to. I don't have 10,000 followers, so I can't show you because I don't have that feature, but in case you're wondering, that's what's up with that. So stories are a super way to keep you visible and keep you top of mind. And because, like I said, they are at the top of your page, and every time you post a new story, you go back to the beginning of your audience's stories right there at the top. So Instagram stories are a really great way to connect with your audience and show them a little bit more about you and about your business. So you all know how much I love live video. Well, I would say Instagram stories are a nice second in line to live video, because they really help you connect with your audience, and they are kind of similar to live video. So they aren't really produced in the same way that a pre-recorded video generally is. You only have 15 seconds, so most people aren't really producing those. They might not necessarily take the first take, but usually it's a little bit more off the cuff. It's someone speaking to the camera, no editing, no visual editing, no editing for speaking and for content or anything. So it's very close to live video in that way. It's generally real time, so people will be out doing something and they might share the video, or they might be like, hey, I'm at this super cool conference and I just learned about how to use Instagram stories. So they are generally doing it in real time, whereas the news feed is less in real time and a lot more planned than your stories are. Engagement. So your engagement rates in your stories, if you do them consistently, you'll start to see that they can tend to be a lot higher than in your newsfeed. And one of the reasons for that is because it's really mimicking more of a one-on-one conversation, because you are popping up, taking the entire screen, and it's really like receiving a Snapchat or a direct message from somebody. So you can feel like you're having a really close conversation with them. So just a reminder, 200 million Instagram stories are watched daily. So it really is one of the fastest growing avenues where you can share more about yourself and your business. All right, so I have a few people chiming in. So Nicole says hello. Hello, Nicole, and hello, Sarah and Stefan and Renee and everyone who's joined. And thanks to everyone who watches me week after week. So I do have a few Instagram stories rules that I would like to share with you just to make sure that you aren't going off track. So there's tons of things you can do, so I can't really share like all of them, but there are definitely some things that you don't want to do when it comes to Instagram stories, and I'm going to share those with you. Oh, I have another person saying hi. Tina Marie. Hi, Tina. Okay, so Instagram stories are not for selling. They are for connecting with your audience. And I mean, while we're at it, let's apply that to all of Instagram and to all of social media. So the rule is you really should be doing a lot more connecting, providing value, and building relationships than you should be for selling. And stories are probably the worst place that you can try to sell because you only have someone's attention for 10 to 15 seconds. So don't sell in your stories. You can send people to your website, you can send them to your podcast, you can send them to all kinds of places, but don't send them to a product or a sales page. It really will show negatively in your favor. They are an amazing place for relationship building, and relationship building leads to trust. And trust leads to sales. So that really needs to be your strategy behind Instagram stories. And it really should be your strategy for social media in general, to build relationships, to provide value, and to let that speak for itself. Yes, you want people to understand how you can help them and how they can buy from you, but the focus really needs to be on relationship building. You want to stay consistent with your branding. So that means if your newsfeed is a lot of clean cut, kind of wholesome vibe, and you just look really pretty and clean and all the time, and then you show up in your stories looking like a dirtbag and swearing like a sailor, it's really off brand for you. So you do want to make sure that there is a cohesive brand throughout your Instagram presence on your newsfeed and in your stories. So make sure that those are in line, and like generally you should have a consistent presence over all social media, over all online materials, and in your in-person communication as well. And then the other rule is to mix it up. You have so many options when it comes to stories. You don't want to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I want you to try a few things, try some stories, try some GIFs, try some polls, try some filters, boomerangs, anything. So play around with it, mix it up, see what works best for you, but remember to mix things up and not always share the same thing, because your audience will get tired of it and stop paying attention. So as a recap, Instagram stories, they should be different than your newsfeed. You want to share a behind the scenes look at your business, something that's a little bit less permanent than what you are going to share in your newsfeed. You want to keep it classy and authentic, be on brand, and lastly, just do it, okay? With 200 million people watching daily, it's definitely a place that you want to be and a place that you want to be seeing how you can use it for your business. So last thing, I'm putting out a challenge to all of you, and that is to post at least one Instagram story, post 2 Instagram stories daily for the rest of the month. So we're June 12th, so that's a little over 2 weeks. So I'm challenging you to post 2 Instagram stories daily, and I will join you as well. So if you are posting stories, make sure you tag me on Instagram, and that's at StrategroDenise. So make sure you tag me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And so for anyone who wants to learn more about how to use Instagram to grow their business, I'll have a free online training on Thursday called Grow Your Business with Instagram, what every profitable entrepreneur needs to know. So I will be putting the link in the comments below if you're watching this on Facebook, and on Instagram you can get that in my bio, and if you're watching anywhere else, the link will be somewhere for you to click on. So looking forward to seeing you there. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you all again next week for another episode of The Art of Online Marketing.